afternoon. My name is Kirsty Dignam and I'm here to look at the energies this week. I'm chuckling to myself because I've just done a whole 40-minute video and realised I wasn't recording, so I can just feel the chuckles all around my head. And it was very much about quick energy and letting it go, so that's exactly what I'm doing. I've just done the process myself, done the whole reading. It was very fire related for the energies this week, and then it was just gone. So I'm going to start again. We're going to get straight down to the crutch of it, which feels really relevant. It feels linked to our root chakra, but it also feels like, what have we been relying on this week in particular? So I'd naturally assumed that my laptop was recording and it wasn't. What have we been relying on? Are they helping or hindering? Yeah, so I was originally using the Dreams of Gaia tarot because the whole video was about what we're opening up to and how we're doing that and what inspires us to do that. And for me, it's Gaia, it's Pachamama. That's the only reason I do the things that I do. And I've done my bit. I've done my bit. The whole reading was about shifting the energy, and I did throughout the whole reading, the process itself. Yeah, I changed my own energy as I did the reading. So yeah, it's just, what are you opening up to this week? What can you rely on? What can't you rely on? Let's get down to the crutch of it now. You know, we've invested a lot of time and a lot of energy into many different things, and it's almost time to start seeing that reaped back now. This week in particular. So with that in mind, I'm just going to get straight to the point. We have a full moon yesterday or today in Libra. I was going to write a blog about it, but what I clearly heard related to justice is some things, it just is. Okay, so it just is. You know, we can keep balance by realizing that things just happen. It just is, and it's more about our reaction. So I have two choices. I can go back through the whole reading, use the same cards, use the same energy, and just reiterate everything that I've said, or realize that it just is. The energy was about it shifting and it being quick, and it was. So let's move on. Yes, it can be that easy. So I'm actually going to use the Light Seers Tarot, and I'm going to get to the point. Okay. How the universe does, the sense of humor of the universe is quite noticeable this week, shall we say, quite noticeable, quite reflective. Okay, so it's all down to choice. How you see the world, how you decide to react is how funny that things can come across, how loving things can come across, how deep, how heavy, how mental. Yeah, it's all down to how we react. Oh, so with that in mind, energies this week. It's very buzzy. It's very buzzy. But then that could be because I've just shifted my own with the last reading, but it feels very buzzy. Okay. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, overall. So I chuckled to myself because Monday for today, it's the Three of Wands. It's that moving forward. Yeah, just like that previous reading that I've just done, moving forward from it now. You know, when I did the reading, I just thought, really? Oh, are we still in this energy? No judgment, but I could almost feel the shift and was quite surprised to see it reflected back to me, and that feels relevant this week. You may see things around you occurring. And as empaths or people that become more self-aware or like to see the bigger picture, we can really make it about us. It isn't always, okay? It isn't always. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. All right, so going full circle, moving forward. Is this relevant to me? This video included, and if not, next. The energy this week feels really quite potent, but not if we hang around. What I see is almost a match being trying to light a wet match if we hang around this week. Use your intuition. That's what came up always, but in particular in the last reading, use your intuition as the guiding light to move forward, particularly today, but in general. On the Tuesday, another 3. So that's 2 3s. So that's birth, creation. On the Tuesday, a getting together of energies and celebrating. A beginning. What it feels like is a beginning of seeing who we truly are on Tuesday and moving forward with that. Looking out to the cosmos as a reflection of ourselves and really starting to open up to what it is we're trying to aspire to be. You know, we can want more love in our life. Is that coming from a place of lack? Is it coming from a place of is it coming from a place of lack? And if so, who can actually give that back to you? Who can reflect that back to you? Really look at the energies around you this week. Are they inspiring you or expiring you? Interesting, interesting, interesting. We may find this week, I was going to say you, so I need to take that on board. We may find this week that what once fulfilled us doesn't. And that's growth. That's growth, yeah. As plants grow, they need more space, they need more nurturing, they need more light, they need more tending. That's growth. It's only when we start to berate our emotions that need those things to continue evolving. That's when we start to become stunted. So yeah, really, really looking at the things that inspire you this week in particular, and knowing that it's all part of your own growth and your place here, because on the Wednesday, the World card. What I see here for the first time ever is almost being restricted in a little bubble. So I'm aware that the lockdowns are hopefully starting to lift, and for some of us, isolation, I wouldn't say it hasn't been a problem, but we can always be in our own little bubble anyway. That could be quite restrictive this week. So really stretching out, really branching out. If you want to grow, yes, we can look at our environment, but what about what's inspiring us as well? Yeah, how are you allowing yourself to grow, or are you blocking your place here in the world? And what I see here is the platonic solids, and obviously these are the elements within us. How do you feel about your own passion and your own ambition? How open are you to the ideas in your mind? Do you actually allow your emotions to flow? How grounded are you in your physical body and your place here? How relevant are you to life? Harsh, but yeah, I felt that this morning. I felt totally disconnected to the world, and it's like, well, have you connected? No. So of course I felt disconnected to the world. And for me, it took everyday things like ringing the vets, checking up with the estate agent, physical life, in order to actually connect to living. Okay, this week in particular, on Wednesday. Thursday brings the 5 of Pentacles. It can be difficult when we start to see how we've kept ourselves penned in and locked in. You know, everything can become comfortable, including isolation. Ironic and mad for some, but for others, myself included, isolation can be quite comfortable, especially if we're that way inclined. Where does that come from? Does it come from a place of just, I need my own space for now and I need to reflect and get myself grounded? Or does it come from, I just can't cope with the outside world? No judgment either way. But remember, if you remain penned in, the only inspiration you're going to get is what's around you. Okay? You have the key to open this door, whether it's lockdown, whether it's I always hear, no, I don't, how can I control this, this and this? By your mind, by your body, by your own inner environment. Okay, you have the key to your own freedom. Always have, always will, whether that's the thoughts, how you feel, what you do with them, how you react. And when you take that back, yeah, everything becomes a bit more hopeful rather than hopeless. And I really feel that on the Thursday. On the Wednesday, we start to realize actually there is more out there to life, and it's time to start maybe spreading our wings almost. And on the Thursday, with that comes the understandable insecurities that always occur with growth. So we get to a plateau in life, and we can be really, really, really good at something, really excel, be very, very comfortable with it. And then by nature, the next stage begins. The next stage comes, so we can be at the top of our game. And then at the next stage, we're suddenly at the bottom of the new level. We were at the bottom of this level at one point. And as uncomfortable as that can be, it is part of the growth. So whatever insecurities may come up this week, I'm not sure I can do that, or I'm not sure I'm ready for that. Go gentle with yourself, obviously. Know that the world supports you, the earth supports you. Your actions can and will support you by connecting to your own intuition and keeping that balance. But also, feeling uncomfortable can be part of the process, especially in the unknown. So I'm being shown the analogy of newborn parents. Yeah, they were terribly uncomfortable in labor and they got through it, terribly uncomfortable with crowning and they got through it. And now they have this new world, just like us, this new world to care for, this new way of being. And all the books in the world don't prepare us for this. And it can be very tempting to be like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not a good parent of my own life, however you want to see this analogy. But actually, it's by doing that we learn. So on the Friday, Two of Pentacles, keeping that balance, really keeping that balance. In every action that we take, there is a reaction in the cosmos around us, and every action in the cosmos around us, there is a reaction within us. How we balance that is up to us, okay? And that comes in our actions. So we can sit and think about things over and over and over and over and berate ourselves because we haven't got the answers, or we can actually get out there and get the answers. If you want to make a bigger impact, make a bigger impact. Don't wait for permission anymore. It's there. It's all about learning your own flow, knowing when to act, knowing when to go within. Because on the Saturday, we have the Queen of Cups, surrendering to that flow, those emotions, nurturing them for the intuition that they are. Yeah, when we finally feel, we heal on the Saturday in particular. And on the Sunday, what we're letting go of becomes the seeds for our new growth. It is by moving forward that we truly let go. I don't mean by leaving things behind necessarily, but by allowing them to have their place in our life and acceptance. Not to remove them, but to embrace them. Yeah, back into the steps that we've taken on our life. With gratitude on the Sunday. Overall, the Seven of Wands. I feel like the image speaks for itself. Again, it's that little bubble, isn't it? It's that bubble of the world. Yeah, the little bubble we see ourselves in can actually come from a quite defensive place. How does the world see your bubble? We may believe it's a few family members, a few friends or whatever. The world may believe that it needs to be bigger or smaller or smaller this week. Interesting. Death and rebirth. Death and rebirth. It's time to really start seeing who you are and why you are here and really opening up to that. Doesn't feel like anything else is needed, really. So when we realise that actually it's down to our actions and our environment, although it can inspire us, it cannot do the work for us, we can become quite defensive. I'm on my own, I've got to do it on my own anyway, I've always done it on my own anyway. What would your life look like if you let go of that? Well, how could you move forward from that? How can you actually bring that into your life in a positive way that helps you and the earth this week? So what have we got overall? We have two major arcanas, death and rebirth, and the world. I feel like justice. It just is. It's change. It's evolution. It just is. More now this week about your own reactions to that. Change occurs anyway. Death occurs, rebirth occurs. It happens all around us. We can't protect ourselves from that. It's about being part of that. Realizing we are part of the cycle. In our own death and rebirth, the world has the chance to do the same. You want different relationships? Be different. You want a different job? Get a different job. You want to do things in a different way? Do them in a different way. Very much this week, the death energy. Be your own death. Yeah, rebirth yourself, rebrand yourself, change yourself if that's what you're really feeling drawn to, with the emphasis on you have the key. You can do this. It's up to you to start changing old patterns, old beliefs, old ways of doing things. The world isn't going to do it for you. Absolutely, and that's where that defensive energy can come in. But if you start to act, your environment will change. Yeah? So, wands, two wands. Two, yes, absolutely. Little bit of stubbornness there. It's okay because it feels like preparation this week for the changes more in April. So the energy that I felt on the reading prior was very fiery, and I didn't realize at the time it is for the next week or so. But what needs to be shifted now? Okay, what can you do now for when things start to lift? If you are aware that you feel anxious about the changes, what do you need to inspire you to want these things that are waiting just behind the closed door? What do you need to give you that strength, that courage, that ability to open it, to find your own key? Really start investing now. In the Two of Wands, we can see our potential. We're not quite there yet, but we can see our potential, but we're looking over the horizon at how we're going to get there. Really start to put a structured routine in place this week for the next few weeks, because the energy is trying to shift. It really is trying to shift. And for those unprepared, I felt it myself this morning. It could be quite a traumatic deliverance. Okay, so what can you put in place now? Wands at Cups, we have 1, 2 cups. Again, that balance, self-nurture of yourself and the relationships that are important to you. Very simple. Actually, I see another cup, Queen of Cups, 3 cups, sorry. Self-nurture, the relationships that are important to you, and flowing with that. When we look after ourselves, when we become the things we're inspiring to achieve, we align, we flow with our own divine essence. 2 of Pentacles, and I can feel in my mind, I'm not sure, I'm not sure, I'm not sure. So just do. Sometimes when we're not sure, especially at the early stage with the 2 of Pentacles, it takes that balance to see if that's where we want to go. So for argument's sake, this weekend, I've been sorting out my mother's jewellery, and there were a lot of charms, which I planned just to sell. And at one point, I wasn't sure if I wanted to make up kits for them and sell them as kits. And I needed to go through this process, and it took 24 hours, all these ideas, making kits and everything else. And then by the end of it, I felt into my emotions and my body. I didn't want to do it. Not really. I got to the focus of the things that I do want to do with the jewellery. And then I felt okay. I felt okay with letting it go because I'd gone into the emotional process of it, which feels really relevant this week, to feel into the process, the journey of what it is you are trying to be or trying to achieve, because that means we are going to be letting some things go. For rebirth, there needs to be death. So feel into that process. Weigh it up. Justice. Weigh it up. If I do this, it means I can't do this. Being very aware of that as well. Being very aware of not everything that we've done will carry on for the rest of the year without burnout. So there are no sword cards this week, none whatsoever, which is really, really interesting because the video beforehand was very much mental energy, and the song that kept going through my head was The Windmills of My Mind, which I'd ironically danced out to Temperance and Death at one point. But by going through the process of what I was read into, everything shifted. Now there are no sword cards in this week's reading. It's more emotional drive. That's what I hear. Connect to the emotional drive behind things this week. Okay, so I know we can have, I need to do this because of mental. I need to do this because it's expected mental. How do you feel about doing it? Take this week before everything starts to lift and shift. Take this week to really, I'm just looking at a reminder on my phone, iron, to really be strong in your blood, to really oxygenate your ideas by being in your body and feeling into it. Is this draining me? Is it inspiring me? Is it nurturing me? Is it rotting me? Yeah, really, really looking into that this week, because there are no sword cards here in this energy. It is, I mean, you've got justice in the background with the Libra moon. You need no more sword energy. It is time to act on what we feel. Otherwise, we stay locked up, hopeless, without being able to find a way out of a situation. It is time to feel into who you are, where you're going, your environment, and how best to inspire that. Take care. Have a wonderful week. It's still 22 minutes. And I shall see you next week. Bye.